Now you guys remember that I really love the Acer Predator Helios 700. It's absolutely one of my favorite laptops on the market. It had a full HD screen, which, you know, when it comes to laptops, you can get them with quad, QHD, or you can get them with 4K resolutions. But I like the full HD with the 144 hertz screen. I love the power behind it, the fact that it had the great cooling system to keep it cool, and so many options and ports that it basically is a feature-proof device that was, for all intents and purposes, a desktop in a portable form. Well, quasi-portable, because it had an incredibly short battery life. But what if I told you you could have all that power and performance in a chassis that's even smaller? It's a super slim body and an even higher refresh rate, from 144 hertz to 300 hertz, for even less money than what that costs. You'd be surprised, right? Well, here we are right here. The Acer Predator Triton 500. This right here basically is everything that the Helios 700 is in a slim, sleek profile. So let's get into it. Before we kick this video off, I want to take a moment to give a huge thank you to Acer and Predator Gaming USA for giving me the opportunity to cover the Acer Predator Triton 500. Again, thank you guys so much for the opportunity, because this line of laptops, I think in general, like the line, and I really want to try their monitors and the desktops, because I'm really loving the performance. And for someone who does a lot of different variety of content, from reviews and podcasts and live streams and just a lot of editing and audio engineering, these devices do everything I need them to do. And so for me, you know, when I was reviewing the Helios 700, that thing was a beast. It was huge. And the fact that it kept up and went toe to toe with my desktop blew me away. And I was like, okay, if I had that in a slimmer form factor and could also have a better battery life, and I could actually take it from room to room and game as I need and work as I need to without any hindrance, or, you know, worrying about the battery dying in about 2 or 3 hours, I'd be happy. And then next thing I know, you know, this shows up, and it's a super thin frame. It's 15 inches, and it's, you know, one of the things I was kind of concerned about, because with the Helios 700, it was loud. Like when those fans kicked in, it got loud. This gets loud too, but not loud to the same extent that the Helios did. Now, the fans will kick in, it keeps it cool overall, and it never gets to the point where it's like sitting on your lap and burning. You know how like most laptops, if you're gaming or you're doing too much, after a while the magnesium, or, you know, whatever the build quality, starts to heat up and it starts to burn your lap if you're sitting on your lap. No, this right here, that's not happening. And then a lot of the different features that were built into the Helios 700 is in the Triton 500. So you got the same type of keys on the keyboard. You've got a lot of the same ports, although there is one additional port that this has, which is a mini display port, which I'm a little surprised at, because I would think most laptops these days aren't using a mini display port. But it's cool because I've got a mini display port cable, just because I still have my Surface Book 2, I still have my mini display port. And so I'm able to really just about do everything with this. Like, there's really nothing I've been hindered by, and I love it. So in this video, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to show you some of my usages, some of the things you can do with the Predator Sense software, and my overall impressions of this device and how it is. So If you've gotten this far and you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel, ding the notification bell, that way you stay up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes from this channel. If you want to support what we do have Patreon as well as channel memberships. It gives you early access to videos that are coming up, early access to podcasts, input on videos and content that we're making, and so much more. So hey, if you want to support, there you go, links are down in the description below. And I'm also the host of Hawaii's #1 podcast, the Kasanova Podcast, where I interview various people in the gaming industry, the tech industry, content creators, and so much more. So check it out. Available on every major podcasting outlet. Again, links in the description below. Also, hop in our Discord and our Guilded communities. If you want to take the conversation further, we have those down in the description below. You know, I'm going to be saying that a lot. Down in the description below, because this is where everything is. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this bad boy and why I think I'm just gonna have to go out and buy one of these, because man, I need this. Like, I need this type of performance that I can take with me, and this is doing everything I need to do. So let's get into it. So I really do like the form factor. So the form factor for the Triton 500, it's super slim. It's a low profile, non-discrete. So it really doesn't look like a gaming laptop. Like if someone were to walk around you, unless you've got the RGB going, you know, it's going in the wave pattern and it's you know, you got all the colors going. From a standpoint, it doesn't look like a gaming laptop. Now you've got a really good I/O that's part of this, which is you've got your Thunderbolt 3 port, you've got your main display port, you've got 3 USB 3.0s, you've got a Kingston lock, an HDMI input, and you've also got Ethernet as well as headphone and microphone inputs. So you've got plenty of I/O. Now, would it have been better to get rid of one of the mini display ports and put in another Thunderbolt 3, or hey, even a Thunderbolt 4? I would have preferred that personally, but hey, it is what it is. You know, if you got a USB Type-C dongle, or if you got a Thunderbolt 3 multi-port, then you can utilize that to get more expansion to do your different setups. So like my current setup in the other room where I was using and testing this for the last month, I basically set up everything. I had my other microphone, my XLR mic, I had my Go XLR, I had my webcam set up, and basically a whole setup to basically mirror what I have here at this setup here. And I was able to do everything. My podcast, I could do, you know, my recording, I was doing reviews, I was literally doing everything I need to off this laptop. At no point whatsoever, I mean, you've got the option of overclocking. If you need to, you can overclock the computer, but I never had that urging need to do that. By default, the factory default settings by itself literally gave me everything that I needed to be able to get the job done. And that's something I greatly appreciate in the performance, which is why I say I need to go out and buy one, because I need something of this caliber. I've got a Surface Book 2. I got it, you know, it worked when I was working in IT, like it was good for that, but for what I'm doing in content creating, it just doesn't keep up anymore. And so I need something like this. Like if I got this with a 3060 or 3070 graphics card, man, I am good. I can play all my games on it, I can do all my editing, I can do my podcasting, you know, and literally everything I can do with this. I would just love to have that for myself to be able to do. But yeah, everything I threw at this. When I was editing videos in Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, or if I was using CyberPower, you know, the video director, everything worked. When I'm using Photoshop ran like a dream. I never had any issues. Like, okay, typical Adobe issues you do still run into, where it's like, you know how Adobe is, it just crashes for whatever reason. It's like, oh, okay, you got all this work done. Guess what? We're gonna crash. Blink, 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 blink. You know what I mean? It just literally, you know, those typical Adobe issues, they still happen. But performance overall ran like a champ. It ran. It was nothing I was not able to do with this laptop. Literally. I went from 1 minute, I'm editing a video in Premiere, then I stopped using Premiere, went over to DaVinci Resolve, worked on another video, then I was like, you know what, I feel like playing some Doom Eternal, and I popped up my controller, I was like, you know, plugged it in, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to use controller anymore, I want to use keyboard and mouse. Then boom, you know, I'm just going. because it's just literally, I could stop one thing, do another, or I could just have everything up, because this unit, the review unit that I have, has 32 gigs of RAM, and it's got a 2080 graphics card in it, and it just literally buttery smooth. No slowdown whatsoever. And, you know, different things that I'm able to use, like when it comes to, you know, recording content, I use XSplit. Also use, you know, OBS Studio. I tested everything. OBS Studio, Streamlabs OBS, Stream Elements OBS. I utilize that as well. And I use RE Central from AVerMedia. Of course, I'm an AVerMedia partner. So I utilize that. And I also was testing it with different software and hardware as well. Like I tested it using the AVerMedia Live Gamer Bolt, which is a Thunderbolt 3 type of capturing device. It's, you know, it's a capture card. External uses Thunderbolt 3, and everything worked. You know, like everything was just perfectly working fine. Really can't think of anything that doesn't work. Even when I'm utilizing multiple displays, using HDMI, the mini display port, and Thunderbolt 3 to, you know, HDMI, I'm still not getting any performance issues. I was utilizing all three monitors that I have here, using the laptop on top of gaming, and it still ran perfectly fine. Got a little loud, but you know, that's when you can crank up the fan settings, and it's got a nifty little button on it that you can press called turbo, and when you press this button, it literally kicks it into overdrive and it starts working. You know, one of the other things too I like about this, like, you see how thin this is. Like, look how flush and thin that is. That, it looks like a freaking katana. You could cut somebody open with it. This is how thin this is. I know it's kind of hard to get it when I got this bokeh effect going. But look, I love the fact the viewing angles of the screen. This is a beautiful screen. I know a lot of people are like, man, I want QHD. I want 4K display. I'm fine with FHD, especially when I got FHD with G-Sync and 300 Hertz with 3 millisecond response time. That's great. Like, look, I can see this. I'm literally able to look at this from any angle. And I don't get glare. I don't have any obstruction. It's not picking up on the lights. It's super good. And just the fact that it is so flush. It's flush. Look at that. You see how flush this is? Like, look, this is freaking thin. I really love this laptop. This just absolutely love it. Like, and then let's talk about the speakers. Okay, one of the things that I really didn't like about the Helios 700, one of the things I didn't like was the fact that the audio on it, I felt was subpar. I'll just be honest. I'll keep a spade, a buck. Y'all know how I do. The audio was subpar. I guess that's to be expected when it comes to laptops. Laptops don't generally have good speaker performance. And for a laptop that's thinner, like significantly thinner, this produces significantly better sound. And that blows me away. I wasn't expecting the sound on this to be as good as it was, but it's phenomenal. And it utilizes DTS to give you like really good audio reproduction. So whether you're watching movies, listening to music, it sounds good. And then when you plug in headphones, especially if you got a good pair of cans, man, it is such an experience. I absolutely love it. Now, are there any downsides to this laptop? I really haven't found any. And I'm really particular because I'm in front of a computer every single day of my life now. I haven't, you know, if I were to look at this from either an IT perspective or if I'm looking at it from, you know, just a gearhead perspective, the only downside I have is there's only one Thunderbolt 3 port. And also that there's no Thunderbolt 4 port. That's the downside for me. It's 3 USB ports. Okay, I'm fine with that. Having an Ethernet port, I think it's great. I like wired connection versus wireless. Mini display port, that is just something I don't personally find to be useful. Maybe some people do find it useful. I personally don't. I would have preferred to have 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports, or a Thunderbolt 3 and a Thunderbolt 4, versus having 1 Thunderbolt 3 and 1 mini display port. I just want more I/O. and less of an IO that is going away. But other than that, performance, battery life, screen, everything is great on this. It runs like a champ. I cannot complain about this. I love the size, the form factor, how flush it is, how light. This is light. Something this powerful is this light. And the standby time on this too is phenomenal. When it comes to the keys, so the keys, if you are playing video games, and I know I should have covered this earlier in the review. So if you're playing video games like shooters or racing games, one of the things with the keys that I really enjoy, and I'm gonna show you guys real quickly, you probably won't be able to see it too well with the bokeh effect, but these keys, basically, you know, your WASD, they're so sensitive in a sense that they're pressure sensitive. So the lighter you push down or the more force you use, the more strongly in a direction you're gonna go. So it's kind of, think of like if you're playing a racing game and you're using an analog stick, these are kind of analog type buttons, which work really, really well for racing games. They work really phenomenally well for shooters, and it's just such a gosh thing. Now, I love how thin the bezels are on this. It just, oh God, I love it. I freaking love it. Anyway, but the keys are great, very responsive. I do feel like, you know, your function keys, which are here, there are times when I am meaning to press right and I end up pressing fast forward, aka mute, because these are kind of too close together in a sense. I would have preferred that the function row here be slightly more over here, but I get that it's all centrally located in this area here. The front facing speakers, love them. And the fact that it's got the killer Double Shot Pro wireless, man. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I think if you're really in the market for a new laptop, the Triton 500 is definitely going to be your go-to. So that's my thoughts. I highly recommend it. I say you guys should go out and pick this up. I'll leave a link down below for you to get it. But what are your thoughts? Are you looking at picking up one of these, or is there a laptop you have a preference for overall? Whatever your thoughts are, let's get the conversation going down below in the comment section. If you want to take the conversation further, we do have Discord as well as Gilded, so links for those are down in the description below. Again, shout out to Acer and Predator Gaming USA for sending me out this laptop. I am so grateful. I absolutely loved working on this review. It took me a while, and I know look, guys, I am trying to get way faster at putting out my reviews. It's just, you know, between renovating the other room, having a new setup here, having a newborn baby. Time is a little tight, but we're still trying to, we're still getting at everything as soon as we can. But yeah, I want to thank you guys. Huge mahalo for you guys for sticking it out with me, and I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, if you want to and you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel, ding the notification bell, that way you stay up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes from this channel. Sub if you haven't already. I already said that, I'm repeating myself, but sub to the channel. Hey, it helps a lot. Share it with somebody you think would enjoy it. And on the other topic, while we're at it, if you want to support what we do here, we do have channel memberships. We have Patreon as well. So if you want to support, if you enjoy what we do, you want to support, you know, hey, those are some options for you. It gets you insider access, back, you know, behind the scenes, early access to stuff, and input on what we do here on the channel. If you want to get merch like this Aloha built, I have a lot of pride in where I'm from, how I grew up in my culture. So if you want to pick up an Aloha built shirt, we have that merch as well. Link for that is also in the description below. And if you're looking for the #1 podcast in Hawaii, the Kasanova Podcast, where I interview people, the gaming industry, the tech industry, content creators, and so much more, celebrities included, then check it out. Available on every major podcasting outlet. Link also down below. With that being said, I'm Mekel Kasanova. I'm signing out. Hawaii content creator here. I hope you guys have a great aloha rest of your day. This is wow. Too sweet. Be the elite. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Mahalo for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate your support by those of you who like the videos, who watch and who subscribe. And for those of you who are my Patreon supporters, thank you for your continued support because you help make this possible. If you enjoy my work and you'd like to support what we do have Patreon on patreon.com/Mekel Kasanova. We also have Coffee as well as Subscribestar. So there's various methods if you want to support the work that we do here. We also have channel membership, so make sure you check that out. That way you get up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes here, and first and exclusive content as well. And if you enjoy the work that I do and you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So with that being said, I'm Mekel Kasanova, Hawaii content creator. I hope to see you on the next one. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ding the notification bell. And all that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.